I tread the path of affection with a heart full of thanks. Appreciation is a melody elusive to those who view the world through a cracked lens. At best, they pat themselves on the back for faring better than their neighbors, finding a brittle comfort in another's deeper woes. How hollow and belittling such notions are. Who can claim a reason to rejoice when others lack it? Who could feel lighter simply because another's burden seems heavier? Your thanks belong solely to the one who swept away the roots of grief. Across the earth dot, it's madness to cheer for misery's sake. Yet it's just as wild to withhold gratitude from the one who hands you the key to dissolve all ache, trading tears for joy and lightness. Even a half-clear mind wouldn't hesitate to follow the trail laid out, stepping toward freedom from a cage they once thought had no exit until its gate swung wide. You cast your kin as a foe, seeing in them a thief of your calm, a bandit who snatches delight and leaves you with a gnawing void so fierce it snuffs out hope. Revenge becomes your only chant. You dream of dragging them down to share your dust, as empty-handed as you feel, their grip as barren as your own. You don't owe the divine your thanks because your kin seems more trapped, nor should you rage if they appear unshackled. Affection draws no lines of measure. True thanks bloom only where love takes root. We lift our voices to the divine, our source, for in us all things find their release. Never can some rise while others stay chained. Love doesn't haggle doubt, so offer thanks, but let them ring true. Let your gratitude widen to embrace all whole. Break free alongside you, the weary, the fragile, the lost and trembling, those nursing wounds or shivering in want, and those stumbling down paths of spite or shadow. They journey with you. Don't weigh yourself against them, for that severs the thread binding us all, a unity they share as surely as we do. We praise our source for one truth. We're not cut off from any living soul, and thus we're one with the divine. We revel that no carve-out can shrink our wholeness or dim the purpose that fulfills the one who is fullness itself. We give thanks for every breath of life, for without it, our praise is empty, and we miss the divine's gifts entirely. Then along affection's road with a thankful spirit, spite fates only drop the scales of comparison. What blocks serenity now? The dread of the divine unravels at last, and we release without tallying scores. We can't pardon some while clutching others as flaws. When your mercy is whole, your thanks will be too, for you'll see all things earn affection by being affectionate, just as your truest self does not today. We train our minds to hum thanks instead of growling with fury, venom, or retribution. Everything is ours already. If we turn a blind eye to that, we've no right to stew in resentment or see ourselves as prey in a ruthless chase, hounded without care for our fate. Thanks become the lone note we play over these warped tunes. The divine has tended us, naming, Jusqu'en, what more could there be? Our thanks carve a shortcut to the divine, slicing through our learning curve beyond imagining. Thanks and affection stride together where one dances, the other twirls. Thanks are but a shimmer of the affection that sparks all existence. The divine thanks you, its kin, for being what you are, its fullness, and a wellspring of love beside. 8. Your thanks to the divine blend with its own to you. Affection knows no path but gratitude's, and so we wander toward the divine together. Only myself do I wound. Once this truth sinks deep and stays sharp in your mind, you'll cease tearing at your own edges or bending your frame to spite's will. You'll see that striking another is but slashing at yourself. You'll shed the delusion that harming kin lifts you up. And you'll know their safety is yours. They're mending your own dot at first. You might not grasp how boundless mercy cradling, all in its steady arms, hides in today's whisper. It might even seem a trap, proof punishment can't be dodged, as the small self, sensing danger, twists truth to guard its fables. But it can't fathom the truth that bends this way. You, though, can spot these flimsy distortions and brush off their false weight dot, so you teach your mind it's not that small self. The tricks it plays to warp reality won't fool you anymore. You won't see yourself as mere flesh to be broken. In today's whisper, you'll catch a dawn of renewal, peering past shadows of ruin and decay to visions of freedom and life. This whisper is one leap from chains to unshackled grace. Let's take it now, racing along redemption's route, each stride in order as the mind sheds its weights one by one. Time isn't the key, just readiness. What might stretch across eons can spark in a breath through the divine's favor. Bleak notion that you can strike others and slip free has pinned you to despair's frame. Maybe it felt like rescue, but it only fed the lie that dread of the divine is solid. And what's that but a pet? Who could think their source plots their end separate, poised to erase them without dread's chill seeping in? That's the madness you buy into if you believe you can wound another and walk away whole. Hope stays buried until that shape shifts. Until you see it's utterly impossible, escape won't dawn. Dread of the divine haunts anyone who trusts that lie, blinding them to its folly or even its presence, leaving no room to challenge it, to doubt it. Its shape must soften enough to ease fear of backlash and hand some accountability back to you. Then you can weigh if this jagged road's worth treading. Until that turn, you won't see that only your thoughts breed fear, and your freedom hinges on you. Our next steps lighten if you take this one now. From here, we surge forward fast. Once you know, no hurt can touch you but what your mind crafts. Dread of the divine fades. You can't then pin fear on the outside. The divine, once thought exiled, returns to the sacred mind it never left. Redemption's tune rings clear in today's whisper. If only you can wound yourself, the world's unharmed, and you needn't cower from its chase or wrath. Nor must you shrink from dread of the divine masked by projection. What you fear most is your release. You're mighty, and it's might you crave. You're unbound, and you thrill in that liberty. You've chased weakness and chains, fearing your power and freedom. Yet redemption waits there. There's a flash when panic seems to clutch your mind, so tight escape feels lost. But when you see it's you fear, the mind splits awake. This hid while you thought harm could fly outward and boomerang back. It seemed a foe beyond you to dread. So divine outside you turned into your lethal rival. Fear's root doubt now. For a heartbeat, you spy a shadow within, hungry for your fall, plotting your punishment until it can strike. Yet in that same breath, rescue dawns. Dread of the divine lifts. You can call it source and yourself its kin, asking its love to free you from illusions. Pray that heartbeat mirrors today. Step from fear and stride toward affection. No whisper of the divine travels without you, urging you to that flash and beyond, swift and sure. When dread of the divine dissolves, no walls stand between you and its serene peace. How generous today's whisper is. Embrace it, it's your unshackling. Only your mind can try to wound itself, but your renewal springs from you too.